Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the FMSL podcast. I am your host Cameron and I have got my co-host Chrissy alongside me. Chrissy, how are you doing?
Hello, Cameron. We are back,
We
finally.
are back.
It's been a long week, isn't it?
It
To
has
say
been
the
a very
least.
long week. Yeah, it's been a
How
very
you
long
been?
week. Deflated. Very deflated after what's just happened to me. You've heard and
Oh,
seen
mate.
my reactions of losing to Joe
Do
in that
you know what? That
game.
was quite entertaining, though. There was ups and downs. It was like an emotional roller coaster.
I actually
I
feel
loved it.
worn out. I don't want to do this, but I have to. So, I don't want to even
Thing to
be
do
here.
for
I'm
love.
just sitting sulk in the corner. Yes, so
Thing
we
to do
are
for love.
back. Oh, I know,
Oh.
I know. So we are back, and this is the start of season 4. And there's been some big transfers if nobody's watched any of the lives. Or kept up to date with any of the news in the league. There's been some big ones. But we'll move on to that. Because first we are going to be talking about the end of the season. So obviously we did do the end of season debrief, but we didn't have all of the necessary data at that point for most of the leagues. So looking at it now in its full form, obviously Rashmat did clinch the title, which we did talk about in our last podcast as well. He had
Perfect
the perfect
week.
week.
Perfect
And
week.
I think
Go on, boy.
did he win on goals scored or wins?
Yeah, I think it was goals. It was either goal scores or wins. I'm pretty sure it was goals scored,
I'm
but
gonna
I'm
guess it
not
was
100%
goals
sure
scored.
on that. But he obviously had the advantage on both of them there.
Yeah, he
Beating
did.
Hellas Verona. So fair play to Rashmat. Congratulations once again.
Yeah, he pulled it out the bag, and obviously, um, commiserations to our friend Yoda. Like it is unfortunate, isn't it? Like it does
He'll
happen.
be back.
I think it's yeah. I think he'll be back this season. I've got him down on my predictions as top dog. But looking down there, we've got the lonely Niall who may or may not be with us at some point. We don't know. He's had a bit of a funny moment this morning, which we'll get onto in a bit later. I'm going to save that one.
That needs its own pod. That needs a whole pod for that.
I
Jesus.
know. We don't have that much time.
No.
And then obviously, again, commiserations to Monza, Union Berlin, and Getafe, who have a new manager now in Mr. Craig Parker.
Welcome, Craig.
I know he's made some additions. Let's say that. But yeah, I mean it's them 3 sides that have went down have kind of rebuilt a little bit. They've kind of put their own spin on the team. I played James in a friendly league yesterday, and he was a force. It really made me think I've not done enough with my team, but I think again I've probably not learned enough about my own team at the moment.
The thing is with James, he had a strong team anyway. He'd already built. I think he was quite unlucky last season. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you look. I know he only won 3 games, 7 draws, and 8 losses. Yeah, but I mean, he was scoring goals. He wasn't conceding that many, really. I mean, 36 is one of the lowest in the whole division. So he's going to bounce back. I know that for a fact. I've actually got him down
Yeah, he will.
to win the league, but we'll get on to predictions in a minute. Speaking of predictions and about the championship, so we swiftly move on to that. Obviously, Trabs, Abdul won the league quite convincingly with Simon. Congratulations there on getting up. Now the playoffs, Cam. That was some juicy stuff.
Don't
That
talk
was
about playoffs to
some
me. I don't like them anymore.
juicy stuff. Yeah, we'll get down to yours, mate. But Cologne, Augsburg. Darren pulled through in that match, 2 matches, and in the other game, Olympiacos, Mbappe FC, other players are available, and Girona, our other friend Anish, and Anish pulled off a victory, mate. He got through to that playoff final, and it was Anish Girona against Darren of Augsburg, and Girona pulled off the victory and achieved promotion to the Premier League. So congratulations to Anish.
Yeah,
Commiserations,
I mean,
Darren.
Yeah, Anish is a strong player, and he's built quite a good side, and he's kind of had a feel of what he was doing, and obviously he's been in the league before last year, and then he came back to take over Aggie, and he's done very well with what Aggie left him. I think he's built like a very
Yeah,
good league, and obviously getting promoted as well out the championship. It's a hard league to be in, and looking at that league, I've probably lost to every single player in that league at least once over their time, at least once, and they've convincingly beat me. So yeah, I think the championships are a hard nut to crack. That you've got to do that this year as well for my prediction money. No pressure, but it is it's going to be a hard slog for you as well. Obviously, with their 3 relegated teams down, and obviously Hoffenheim's not there. Liam at Barker Juniors isn't there, and then obviously Danny at Celtic as well. They're not in the championship, but obviously you've got the nice 3 promoted teams, obviously in Nantes, Rangers, and Freiburg, who won the playoff.
congratulations to Magnus for that.
Yeah, everybody kind of was hit and miss about Magnus. He was either going down or he was. He was he was either going down or he was going up. There was no in between really.
No, I think he did well. He had a good season.
Oh yeah,
like I say,
by
he only
Magnus
missed out.
standards, he had a great season.
Yeah, I mean, potato health to you as well, Cam. Do you know what I mean? You had a good last couple of weeks. There was at some point, you know what I mean. You was down there and you pulled it back, mate, to get in the playoffs, which is an achievement in itself. So hats off to you, sir.
Yeah, getting in the playoffs was hard though because I knew who I was up against, and I needed some results to go my way to not play against Courtney. I struggle against Courtney, and he knows it. I'd have much rather played against Ross or Magnus in the in that stage anyway, rather than Courtney. And then obviously win the divisional cup as well. Kind of made me feel like I've just like cups are like totally not my thing. And then I went and win the divisional cup, and I'm going, why couldn't they just do that in the playoffs? I'd rather do that in the playoffs and go up than. But there's nothing I could really do there. So hopefully I'll be up there for next season.
I think you
I'm
will
just
be.
hoping. I'm hoping I will be up and around. I'd rather get autos, but you've had a great season yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I did enjoy last season. The team were playing well. I think obviously got to both semi-finals of the cup. I don't know if I keep mentioning it, but the thing about that, Cam, is the expectation. I think now that I've done so well last season, as you can see in the predictions, a lot of people are expecting me to do the same, a three-peat, if you will. But it's the championship's a hard league. I'll back myself every day of the week, mate.
Chrissy. You need to do the threesome. Come on, you need to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then obviously
looking.
I was going to say quickly looking down the bottom of the table there, Osasuna, Abu left us and is being replaced by another Mohammed. And then obviously Craig at CF America, he's, I relegated him and Kevin the final week, and that it did hurt as a friend of Craig to relegate him. Not so much Kev.
You loved it against Kev. Yeah, you loved it against Kev.
Because he beat us the first leg. I was absolutely raging. He cost me a good week. So, yeah, I don't care about Kev. And then, obviously, the people who are joining us joining me even in League One next season is Henry. It's Celta Vigo.
Had a cracking season. Proper turn that around. 43 goals, 25 conceded. That's class. 41 points. Second best in all the leagues. Fair play to him. And also Danny getting back. Royal Antwerp. Like I said before on this pod, he knows ball. He knows what he's doing. Ex-Prem manager. He knows what he's doing. And then the playoffs, which I think surprised a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? Shout out to Steve for getting in the playoffs. Mark as well at Mainz managed to get in. But the final, which was Stad Reims, our good friend Joe on the pod, and Oliver, who's also been on at Monero. Oliver pulled it off.
No,
mate.
he's not been on the pod yet. He's a new guy, isn't he? He's the new guy. Oliver, he's the new guy.
Oh, I'm thinking of the other Oliver.
Oh yeah.
He was on a pod before. He was on a pod with us before. This was when we weren't this high tech. We weren't as far as we are now. Yeah. So yeah, he won anyway. He won the playoffs.
Yes,
He's
he
up there
did. The
next
new
year with
man
you.
came in and won the playoffs, didn't he?
The new man came in. New manager bounce, as they call it. So yeah, next season's looking good, mate.
Yeah, and then obviously, Andy finishing second bottom there, and Stuttgart obviously finishing. I mean, he managed to pull back a few points as well, didn't he? Towards the last end, after mistakes were made, but it is what it is. But looking forward,
he's took it. We've moved on. We're going forward. That's it,
has.
Cam. That's it. Go on, go forward.
Yeah.
Go on.
So looking obviously at the Healing Cup, and this is going to hurt Chrissy a little bit, so we're going to do it
still
very
hurts a
quickly.
little bit. Well, you say that, but it was a good season. I mean, Trabs, they won the league as well, Championship in the Prem now. I can't moan too much, but like we were saying before, the final against Osasuna, and this is how crazy FMSL can be. You could do terrible in the league. You could be struggling to get wins, but if you go on a cup run, mate, like Osasuna did, look at that. Champions. He beat against all odds. I think it went all the way to extra time. Might have gone to penalties. It wasn't that long ago, but it feels like a lifetime.
It does feel like a lifetime ago.
David toppled Goliath in that one, and hats off to him. And he beat Verona in the semis. That makes my one don't look as bad now.
Yeah, he had a good run. He had a very good run. And then obviously looking to the next side, it's very, very big, this one, mate. So we're gonna have there's a few teams missed off from the screenshot I got from Big Kev, but it's looking towards the middle of the grid. PAOK, Union Berlin, AZ, Reims, Nantes, Almeria, Monza, and Rangers. We're all in that quarterfinal bracket, and it's just like not the only team that I would actually expected to be in there was AZ in Union, and they ended up meeting in the semi-final. I wouldn't have expected. No offense to yourself, I wouldn't have expected you at the start of the season to have went in and done as well as you did, and Wesley as well, who ended up winning it in Monza.
Neither did I. I had
Strasbourg
in the first round. Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. I had Strasbourg in the first round. Won that one quite convincingly. Cologne, Lewis, I only just got through on that one. Literally just got through. I think it was 2-0 against Niall. But Monza, as you know, as I've explained in the pause, all these games are our games, mate. You can never expect to go in and get a result, no matter what league you're in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta go in open minds, right? Every manager's different, every team's different. So yeah, like you say, this is one of the big tournaments we do each season, and yeah, all the teams are involved at the start. You got your prelims down on your left-hand sides, and then as it goes down to the final, and again, hats off to Wesley. A great result. Look, and there again, the two teams in the final were the two teams that got relegated in the Premier League. And there's a lot of money to be won, not real money, FMSL money, to be won in cup runs, and everyone loves it. Everyone likes to get involved.
Yeah, they do. So, obviously, we have had transfer week, haven't we? We've had transfer week.
Yes, we have.
An interesting week. And some people
has.
have had meltdowns. Some people have just completely lost all track of money. Some people have not registered their squads correctly after being in the league for so many years. Like, it's a crazy time. But looking at, the draft in itself, this is the big one. This is everything that we dream of.
The infamous
when it
draft.
comes to, we're starting on the wrong slide. Never mind.
Yeah,
because
I was going to say.
Yeah, so
that looked quite bad then.
It did, didn't it? We'll gloss over that. It's fine. Obviously, this was a bit mental, the draft. And the last few years, there's been players who went first who would never expect to have went first. But obviously, this is another one. Mahid Taremi, who always
No,
signs for Manchester United. Always signs for
yeah.
Manchester United.
No, he's a good player. He is a good player.
Yeah.
His attributes on the game are good. I know why Lewis did that. It wasn't. It's like as you know of any draft. It's any draft in FMSL anyway. It's all about it's tactics again. You've got to work out
Yeah.
right. I need this
What do you
player.
need?
If you got number one pick and you've got some money in your bank, which Lewis did, you decide right. What am I going to do? Am I going to go for the big player that I want? Which, as you look down towards the bottom, he drafted Phil Foden. Now he knew Phil Foden wasn't going to go early doors. Now I did speak to him. We all talk. It's one of the great things about FMSL. The community is brilliant. Transfer window, everyone's messing each other. Everyone's trying to buy draft picks. Everyone's trying to get their funds up. And me and Lewis spoke, and as you'll see down, obviously I drafted a big player towards the end of the draft. And he said he did want Phil Foden. So I was like, look, I'm happy with the other player. So I said I wasn't going to do dirty because I had the two players that I wanted. I think I was pick 15, 16, and pick 20.
Yeah, you were.
Because
Yeah.
I bought another pick. Yeah. So I wanted them players not based on what I needed for my team. It was more based on the value of them players and how good I knew they would be for me going forwards. Not just playing, but for the next window as well. So, like you say, it's all tactical. But then there's been some crazy picks, isn't there, over the years?
Yeah.
Some crazy first round picks overall, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah, I think we've had some mad ones, but even like looking at this year, like there's been some bargains as well.
Yeah.
There's been some bargains, but the one that really got me was Bruno Guimaraes going to Mineiro. That killed me, that, because obviously on deadline day, a couple hours before, I did have a big offer for Tonali when I was at work, and I was panicking and I was invigilating an exam, and I was like, oh God, like, and I invigilated 2 exams, and I was like literally in the exam just thinking about FMSL and how I can replace Tonali with this deal, and he was the number 1 pick.
That's what I mean. So if you
For
did it,
me
it wouldn't
to
have
go and
happened.
get.
You'd have been gutted.
And if I did it, I would have been screwed, totally screwed by how valuable Tonali is, especially that's been proven in the last couple of friendly games that are playing, how crucial he is, and he will not be leaving anytime soon. And I can make that promise, pinky promise, on the podcast. So he's
We'll
not
see.
leaving.
We'll see.
He's not leaving. He's not leaving.
I know what you're like, mate. I know what you're
He's
like.
not leaving.
I know what you're like. You say this now, in 6 weeks' time, you'd be like, oh, I'll put a screenshot to try and get some offers in. You just love it. We all love it, mate. We all say, oh, no, we're not doing transfers this week. Exactly. We're all greedy bastards, basically.
Anyway, yeah,
for this,
looking
for the
down,
draft, that's what it is.
Obviously, there's a few. There is a few players that people will not recognise on the list if they've not paused and had a look at it already. I will flick through the screens in a second, but obviously there is new gens in this, the regens, and a lot of them do get drafted purely for we buy any player purposes, or kind of to sell on. Yeah, or to sell on, because they know it's going to be money-wise is great.
When we go down to the next pages, that's when you start. I mean, admittedly, I think Joe picked one early doors, that Chris Webber. Obviously, his PA is high. His CA is quite good as well, so he's going to make profit on that. I don't know if he will. I mean, he looks quite a good player anyway. I don't know if he will do it, but once you go down, we're not going to talk about the 3rd round.
We don't talk about Chris.
Yeah, no. I'm choosing it as an example. But once you go down to the 3rd round, there's more players that you don't know because they are Weebap fodder. People getting them in.
A lot of them anyway. Yeah, I think the wonder kid Oscar Elena in Monza there as well. He was a baller. Obviously, there's some good picks in here as well. You know, moving on very quickly. One of my picks there, number 7 in that round, Oscar Comolia. From Barcelona, was a steal, really. Obviously, he's there to play sub right back, and then I very quickly realised he's fucking awful. So he will not be playing. He was just going to be he's going to be wide back follow. I've totally misjudged him. But he can play CDM all right, but I don't need CDMs. As we know, I've got a lot. Anybody who knows me knows I love a CDM. But then Matt Carroll for like 3 million. Oh, God, there's a few there. Elia Caprile, that Chrissy signed for 500k.
Don't. Right, okay, yeah, all right. On paper, he's good, admittedly. On paper, he's good. And I probably shouldn't have thrown him at the deep end against the ex-Premier League champion today. But he did concede 5 goals. He I don't know what was going on, to be fair. I went defensive. It was probably my fault, but he was terrible. Maybe that's why he's 500k.
Don't put pressure on your team.
Yeah, nah, these are all right.
Obviously,
my
looking
fault.
at that
Bad
list,
manager for throwing him in.
Yeah, there's some good picks. I mean, looking in
pick,
after
mate.
that
Andy
one,
Robertson.
you've got Andy Robertson, Nico Paz, Granit Xhaka.
There's still some good
hidden on that list.
Julian Duranville, but Vergruma, I can't pronounce his name. Brighton goalkeeper. I was looking at him until I found Crepfield for that bargain.
Yeah.
So obviously,
then obviously as well, there's a great bargain on there with Martin Deroon as well. Bargain. I can't remember how old he is now, but he's bargained for 120k. It's still 120k for probably a backup centre midfielder. You kind of.
And he's one of them players that you won't sell him on. It'll be valuable to your team. You won't sell him on. There'll be no point.
And obviously looking at the last page, there's the usual suspects that have fell through the crack doors. Adam Hoyzik, who I actually looked at as well because he's a bargain. I'm sure Abdul will be selling him off for 70 million at some point. Obviously, as Chrissy said before, Marcus Rashford, 162 million. Anyway, there's a few bargains in there. Connor Bradley's there. Robert Rennan, who was a bargain.
Mika Morrow as well for Pauk, class signing. There are some good signings.
Yeah, Felipe Ranconca from Juventus was like dirt cheap. I had a look at him. He was
that one well.
Dirt cheap. What can I say? I've looked at him enough. That was Andy's only pick of the draft, and I think it was his best transfer, and he's not even playing him.
Yeah.
So there we go. But yeah, that's looking at that. But let's take a back seat for a moment. Let's talk about our windows. Now, obviously, there was a bit of a thing, and it happened, and Chrissy wants us to apologise before he gets any redder.
Nah, it's just hot in there. That's all it is. Nah, obviously I am sorry for that. Well, no, do you know what? Okay, like it was a miscommunication. Me and Cam are quite good friends. We do talk quite a lot. We had spoke about Bellingham that day before I went out and Odegaard, because I knew how much Cam loved Martin Odegaard, and we agreed to sell him. And I was supposed to turn up for the pod. All right, it was my football presentation. I was out. I wasn't out. I was out. I did speak to Cam while I was out. I know that because the phone records say I did. However, I don't remember agreeing to an extra 25 million. I'm not saying he's lying, because he wouldn't do that. I just didn't remember it. And then, to be fair, the next morning
it was an extra 25.
I felt so bad. But Cam really wanted to get the deal over the line, and that on the Sunday. Obviously, I was hungover.
Supposed to announce it on the podcast.
Yeah, and he was like, "I'll pay you the 15 million to do the deal." I was like, "No, I'm paying you money, mate. That's how it goes." Like in hindsight, I think there will be a deal down the road where I'll make it up to him. So. But we moved.
So.
We both got what we wanted.
Yeah, we did. We both got what.
That's what the window does to you, mate.
The window does weird things to people.
It breaks hearts, ruins friendships, marriages, the lot.
Yeah.
Maybe not marriages, but hurt. Close enough.
Yeah,
all right. But yeah,
but we did.
Not a bad window. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I didn't have a bad. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. One deal I didn't want to do. Michael Coyote, my right back. I had quite a few people coming in and asking about him. And then our good friend Ross over at Bellingham come over and he was like, "Look, do you want to do a deal?" And I was like, "Not really, mate." I was like, "Look, I'm looking. Obviously, there were some big deals on right backs this window." I said, "Look, I'm looking for about. I want at least 100 mil." And he was like, "Would you do 60 plus 40?" And I was like, "Look," I was debating a bit. I was like, "That's quite good money for him. I should take it." And I was like, "I don't know. Do I take it? Do I not?" And I said, "Look, give me." I thought I'll try and call his bluff. Give me your first round draft pick. That's where I got it from. Where I got number 16 from, 15. Give me 70 plus 50 and I'll do it. And he went, deal, straight away. I was like, oh, no. What have I done? But I managed to get Wan-Bissaka off Craig at CF America. He wanted WeBack price for him, so I snapped stand off for that. Thought that was quite
I
a good
actually
deal for
can't believe
Wan-Bissaka.
that. I still can't believe that. Like that's fucking mad.
He was gonna weep. He had him on the list already. He was gonna weep him. That's the thing you've always got to check. All the
You've
managers
always
out
got to
there,
check.
right? During the window, check the weebaps. Every time you go on the spreadsheet, check the weebap sheet. Because someone might want to get rid of a player that would be perfect for your team. And Wan-Bissaka was there. So I made 120 million plus a draft pick. So let's say 130 million is around one draft pick. 130 million, and I paid under 20 million for Wan-Bissaka. So yeah, that was a couple of other little deals, but nothing too shabby really.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, apart from obviously the Odegaard deal, I did do a deal for Gianluca Scamacca, which I totally regret, and I was definitely under the influence. And somebody came into my house and wrote deal whilst. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't me, and I want that transfer rescinded as quickly as possible. Thank you very much. And I think Danny wants Scamacca back, so I think we can do that deal very quickly. But yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah, it was a big mistake. I was trying to flog him. And I couldn't get rid of him. And then Danny was like, "No, I want a straight swap." And I was like, "Well, if you give us 10 mil," then he argued. I say, "Oh, give us 20 mil," and then he argued the toss. And then it's like, "Just give us 10 mil. Just let's do 10 mil." And I just wanted Harry Kane away, and I really wish he hadn't, because imagine the team I would have had now. But I was just thinking
shocked.
cash when I would have had Harry Kane up front with Martin Odegaard, Oh, that's another deal I did. But anyway, yeah, Martin Odegaard, Tonali, Gnabry, Kokot, Lewandowski, and then obviously Pedri,
You had a good
who I'll
window.
get onto very quickly. Yeah, I think I had a decent window. Obviously, Pedri was very much underperforming at CF America, and Craig was after a centre back, was after a winger, a veteran winger was the actual words he used, and centre mid / AM to replace Pedri. So originally the deal was going to be Harry Kane, Chris. You might have to remind me here. Harry Kane. Oh no, the original deal was Harry Kane, Lewis Miley, and Neymar, wasn't it? For
Yeah,
Pedri and
for
Kalimawende.
Lumendo. Yeah.
Kalimawende, I think. Yeah, and then obviously I decided that was just insane after
Yeah,
Craig's a
because
lot
that's when
thinking
I
about it.
before I went out, that's what we spoke about. Because the database had just dropped before we went out, and you said you were talking to Craig. I remember being out at this point, so I was only a couple of beers deep then, so I was still quite sober-ish. And you said
Yeah.
about that, and then I come back and it's completely changed.
Yeah, so I give it in the end. He won a centre back, and I was like, right, well, I'll give you Andreas Christensen. It took a lot of convincing. Andreas Christensen, who I regret selling now, but not for Pedri. I just regret selling the quality. I regret the quality of centre back that I give Craig, because Christensen is quality.
Pedri, mate.
But Pedri's just something else.
You
know how I felt there when Pedri scored. It was just something different, wasn't it?
One of the best midfielders in the game, mate.
Yeah, and then obviously Lewis Miley did not leave because he progressed way too much. It would have been totally lopsided. And then I swapped. Yeah, and then it was Neymar did go, because I did find a very cheap replacement, which I'll get on to quickly. And then Luis Lucas Rodriguez, who signed on a free and has been worth 16 million both windows, and I've come close to wipe-outing him twice. And I just went, do you want him as well? Just to make the deal, because I think I was going to give him Donny, and I was like, I can't give my boy up. I can't give my boy up. You know, I've given so many happy memories. I can't give him up. So I didn't. And then obviously that was kind of what it was in terms of that as well. You know, like I had to make the best deal. And Craig so lovely went along with it. 3 players for 1. But I feel like I might have overdone myself with that one.
Nah,
but I don't know. I got Pedri, and obviously my front 6 is Tonali and Odegaard sitting, and then I've got centre midfield. Then I've got Gnabry, Pedri, Lewandowski, Scamacca, which sounds nice, doesn't it? But I think Craig was using Pedri wrong.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he was. I think he's playing centre mid.
He was.
Or DM.
And I think it's just finding. I think it's just finding the right thing for each player, you know. But very quickly, we will look. Very, very quickly, we will have a little look at Chrissy's high roller. Chrissy, run through this, please.
So me and Cam have done 2 draft 11s for you today. One is the high roller team, which I picked. So the most expensive players that were dished out, give or take a couple. We spoke about it on the pod area, and you'll see Cam's in a minute. So we'll start off with Edison, who went to Stuttgart for 92 million this season and 23 next season. So as you can see, with all of these deals, there is a future fee involved. We do that as a mandatory loan. So it's a little bit easier to get the best players out of the database and into our team. So yeah, start off with left back Andy Robertson. Didn't have that many left back to choose from, but I thought Andy Robertson's a great player. You should all know him from Liverpool. So yeah, he went to Freiburg. And Jarrell Hato, who was a young Dutch centre back, big money paid here to go to Girona for Anish, 113.6 mil plus a little 28.4 next year. Castello Lukebega. He went. Hang on, he went to Besiktas. No. I think he did. Have a little check, Cam. I'll go. I know the other one. I'm convinced he did. Yeah, because Divine Rent. Oh, he went for 76 plus 19, which I thought was quite a good deal. Divin Wrench is another Dutch defender. I think he's at Ajax. Went for 53.6 mil plus a little future fee, and then you got a big 3 in the middle. Big 3. So we'll start off with Sergio Milenkovic-Savic, who was the third pick of the draft after Martin Baturina.
4th.
Pardon me. Yeah, 4th, sorry. He went to Copenhagen. Great signing by Steeder. Brilliant signing. 49.5 plus 38 is a steal. I'm guessing he was a squad player. He must have been for that 60-40 rub. Bruno Gomes, who we spoke about earlier in the pod, went to Oliver Monero. 98.4, apologies, plus 24.6. Bruno Fernandes, the big man from Man United, who went to the Championship champions, Trabs, 90.4 plus 22. Bernardo Silva. No, he didn't. Sorry, boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen. Bruno Fernandes also went to Girona. So Girona's got 2 players in my team.
Yeah, he's got 2
Fuming.
players in, yeah.
If I'd known that, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't give Anish the credit for that. But yeah, so Bernardo Silva, who did go to the Championship champions, Trabs, 104 plus 26. Philly Foden, V55 Thumb, 72 million plus 43.2 to Pauk at Lewis. And my big signing was Marcus Rashford. Just looking at it now, was quite a lot for what he is, but he's a good player. On his attributes on the game are second to none. So yeah, hopefully it won't come bite me in the bum. But yeah, there is my high roller 11.
Yeah, it's an interesting team. It really is. It's an interesting team. Like a lot of players who could have. There's a few of them who could have went first window, and it was Besiktas, by the way, for the Becker. look back or whatever. Costello look back. It definitely was.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a weird team. Obviously, with
It's a strong team.
all these
I mean,
big
that's like
players
nearly
going now.
yeah. It's nearly $1 billion FMSL dollars there, Cam.
Jesus,
A
that's a lot of dollars.
Probably over actually. If you didn't, that's a lot, isn't it? It's a big, strong team. But anyway, I want to see your team. I want to see the bargain basement. Even though
Even I don't want to. It's not really bargain. I think it's the. I think what we'll call it is Cam's players that he thinks are worth the value. I think we'll put it as that, or as being.
Cam's
I don't
value
know.
11.
Yeah,
Cam's
I think full
players
value.
who
I think
thinks are
most of these
worth the
players
value
are.
11.
Now people are going to say I'm biased, right? But
Yeah,
I've
I've
got
just
some
realised
opinions.
something as well. You put 2 of your own players in the team.
Yeah, well, I think for good reason.
I
I think for
no,
good reason.
yeah. All right,
So
fair enough.
obviously we've got Bento for 13.2
Bargain.
plus 3.3. Another bargain that I had on my list of goalkeepers from 2 years ago that was still at a club, and I had said to Steve, go and get him. And Steve was like, oh, cheers. I never heard anything back. And then he drafted him, and I was very, very happy. He's very good. He's a 151 CA. He obviously won't go any higher because he said he's thing. But for a goalkeeper at 151 now, you're probably talking like maybe like 8 million. I might be wrong, but in most cases, probably about 80 million, depending on who it is. Obviously, Calvin Ramsey, another one of the bargain. I love the bargain basement. It's great. Obviously, 1.1 plus 2.3 because of he must be like a fringe or surplus. I'm gonna guess, and then he went to Joe.
Yeah, will be.
Now, controversially, we are playing a centre back. I believe he is at left back, but he deserves a place in the squad. He was. I've recently looked this up, and he is like 3 point something plus minimal numbers. But he's called Matt Carroll. He is a regen, and he's pretty good. And Abdul will
class.
do well out. Abdul will do very well out of him. Then we're going to move on to the centre defensive partnership, and we're going to talk Rafael Varane, 33.
Bargain.
Bargain
He might be
for
33,
point.
but he's still got it.
But,
He's still got it.
Yeah, he's got 17 natural fitness, and his stats are still decently high. He will last till the end of the game in 2 seasons. Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
His attributes will last until the end of the game. Now we're going to talk about one of the elephants in the room, Adamo Nagalo.
See, I think that is a bargain for that. He's not the one I'm on about. Like, don't get me wrong. Like Oscar Kulamar, he's worth the money. He is worth the money. He's a great central defender. For 29 million, mate, you've got a steal there.
Yeah, and he was another one over the. I believe he was over the 150 range with his CA, and he has like a bit more to improve as well. And I wasn't going to turn that down, even though I didn't want a left-footed centre back. I'm glad I took
so
him
glad
for
when
the
he did, because I wanted Arthur Theat, a left-footed centre back from Rennes. And when you said to me during the draft, any of these 3 defender, I knew you wanted a defender, obviously to replace Christiansen. And when you didn't say any of them 3, I was like, yeah, Angolo, get him, go get him. Don't change your mind, just get him.
Yeah, I did change my mind about 4 different times. My
obviously.
Notebook will literally tell you, like, I played or I was doing this during an exam, which I probably shouldn't say, but like literally, like I have notes upon notes upon notes upon notes upon notes. I have notes all the way. Yeah, I've still got notes. I keep going back to notes because I've got so many of them. But it's all, I've got so many notes. And I did change my mind about 400 times, but he is in there. Obviously, then there is Granit Xhaka. Steel. I know he's a little bit all of age, but he is a steal. He is a steal.
But players like that, when they got their natural fitness, and you just know they're going to be good in the versus game, you know they're going to deliver. It's at that price, you can't knock it.
He's a bargain. And then obviously Faustino Vera.
What a signing.
Vera. You know
Lovely
what I mean?
pick there from Kev.
You can
Lovely
be
pick.
a detective from Northumberland, or you can be a centre midfielder. Yeah, it was a great pick. I did have to go on the database and have a little look at his stats and attributes and stuff, and have a look at and he's actually really, really decent.
He is class.
And then obviously another one of my picks. I know it's biased, might look it, but it's not. The kid has over 162, I think, 162 or plus PA. That's crucial, and for the amount I was paying, it was an absolute steal. I could not turn that down.
For them numbers, that is good. That is good. 4.6 and then 10.85 next season.
Yeah, and obviously,
and the fact that you've done and got Nagolo, the fact you've done that permanent, I love that.
Yeah, I had to do permanent. I only took one mandatory loan, which is a thing for me, unless I'm desperate. That was worth a mandatory loan because of the price, and it meant I got somebody else. I got Robert Rannin. But obviously, looking up front, I'm going to start from left to right. Matteo Zaccagoni. Now, I know he looks expensive. That is expensive for this list, but he is so worth it. And I would not be surprised, and this is putting a lot of pressure on me here, if he comes out with a combined 14 or over goals and assists this season.
Oh,
he'll come out with.
So what you're saying? Over 14 goal contributions.
Yeah.
All right.
In all comps, nice. He will, because he's a great player. As long as he gets played, he will do that. He's great. And I can't remember who signed him, but it's a great signing. Then obviously Adam Isaac, Abdul signed him. Absolute steal. I think he was on most people's lists who were looking for strikers.
I was surprised.
I'm surprised he got the third round.
Well, obviously Abdul didn't pick his last pick straight away. He did that the following day.
Yeah,
so everyone had already done their picks. Yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously
good signing.
We're gonna leave it on the man who has just terrorized me for a good hour 20 in game is Chris Webber, the regen from Manchester City. He's an absolute bargain, and I don't care what anybody says, he will score.
Yeah.
He's another one who will have probably at least over 10.
Oh.
At least over 10 goals this season. Not goal conversions, goals.
Just goals. He will score just 10. Goals. He's already got 2 already, isn't he?
Just goals.
He's already got 2 goals already.
Right. we don't talk about Chris, all right? But yeah, that is. Oh, there we go. You've come back. Sorry. So that is the end of our lovely little Conversation Street Part 2, as I would like to call it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to nice. It's good to get and have a chat with me and you, Cam. Do you know what I mean? Just talk about the league, have a little overview over the draft and things like that. And yeah, just obviously this league means a lot to a lot of people, and it's good to get back on the pod and have a little natter about it.
It is, and obviously I just want to finish on some FMSL. Where is it? Where's the banner? We've got it. FMSL breaking news.
Oh.
So unfortunately, the producer, who I don't know what he's doing nowadays, he had a bit of a wobble and managed to get himself a points deduction from for still being in the red after completing the end of the transfer window. There's a lot of rumours going on. But yeah, it's been a bit mad today.
Well, I'll quickly say, at the end of every transfer window, everyone's budget cannot be in minus. Otherwise, you get a transfer embargo for next season. Because you don't want to just be spending money willy-nilly. There's got to be consequences. not well, that sounds bad, but you get an 18-point deduction, a transfer embargo, and no TV money. So, yeah, no, I don't know what he did. I don't know exactly what happened. I'm a bit gutted, really, because I would have helped him out.
Yeah, I think
But
I think
yeah,
people if it was known, I think people would have helped them out, and it's just a shame really because then like obviously I don't know if he's staying or going or
I
whatever.
think he'll
So
stay. I think he'll stay, but it's just at this point in the cycle. Do you know what I mean? We've got 2 windows left.
yeah,
I mean, I've never seen it. We've been doing this for what 3-4 years now. I've
I've
never
never seen
seen
it.
someone. I've never seen it
I've
happen.
never seen it.
So, congratulations, Niall. I suppose you're the first, and hopefully the last.
Hopefully, it is the last. But
Yeah.
yes, Chrissy, I want to thank you for coming on today and joining me on
Always a pleasure,
our
Cam.
second part of Conversation Street, which is episode 13 of the FMSL podcast. So yeah, Chrissy, I want to thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. See you soon.
Oh God, I've cut him off. I'm sorry, Chrissy. But yes, this is the FMSL podcast, and we are now finished, and we're now starting the new cycle. So thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you somewhere down the road. And take care.